Hey everyone, it's Chef Peppy Joe coming to you. Hey, Peppy Joe Barbecue. Today we're going to do a spatchcock chicken. Now I brined this overnight last night, and I made a chicken brine that is just a basic brine. It's 2 gallons of water, 2 cups of brown sugar. It is a 1 cup of Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot, 1 cup of kosher salt, and then the spice is this right here. Now, this is a local company they've been in business for many, many years. When my dad was a professional butcher, this is the company that he bought from. They've been around for, geez, seems like 100 years. Uh, it's a local company, but you can order online to get this. It's the original wing and fry dust. Now in that brine is a 1/4 cup of this, or an 1/8 cup. I'm sorry, an 1/8 cup of this. Then you just make sure everything's all dissolved in that water, the salt, the sugars. Submerge your chicken, and if it starts to float, put a weight over top of it so it submerges into the liquid. Brine it overnight, take it out of the brine the next day, pat it dry, let it dry, and then you can do with whatever you want, whether you're going to stuff it or spatchcock it, bullfrog it, do it whole, do it cut in half, whatever your forte. But today we're going to be doing a spatchcock. So I'm going to switch cameras, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so here's our chicken. This one was about 6 pounds. It was brined overnight, and you can see on the top, right in this area, some of the coloration from the red hot and the spice mix that was in that brine. So we're going to pat this dry, and then we're going to put it on the cutting board underneath and spatchcock it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to inject it with this. If you're from like Buffalo area, upstate New York, you'll know exactly what this is. This is a really good vinegar-based marinade, basting sauce that is very popular in that area. But I'm going to inject it, the bird, and then on the outside we're going to put McCormick's Montreal chicken. Then we'll put it out on the smoker and get it going. So the first thing I want to do is get some paper towels and just kind of walk this dry a little bit. Just enough to take some of that residual liquid off. And that's all there is to it. Now we're going to take it off that tray and put it on the board, like so. Take the tray and get it out of the way, like so. Now, as you can see, this area right here, this is the spine on the back end of the bird. This is the spine area. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a knife and we're going to cut down both sides of this spine. Okay? Then we'll take a pair of kitchen shears, poultry shears, and we'll cut out that spine. So here we go. Find it with your fingers and kind of, there's a groove on each side of that spine. You just kind of go in that groove, and that'll be your cut part that you're going to cut out of there. Okay. Okay, now that we got that in there, we're going to go in and cut that spine out. Depending on how big the chicken is, sometimes these spines, they can be thick, the bones, so you really need to have some hand strength to do this. Turkeys are especially harder to do because they're much bigger and the bone structure is much thicker. So if you're going to do this with a turkey, you need to eat your Wheaties to get that done. So now that we've got that done and we've got that opened up, anything in there we're going to get rid of, nasty stuff. And then this bone right here, this is the breast sternum bone. I don't know if you can see it, but where my fingers point right there. We're going to take our knife and we're going to make a little tiny slit right there. What that's going to do is that's going to release the pressure on the sternum. So when we flex this up, it won't have any resistance. So we're just going to nick that just a little bit. Just like so. That's it. Now we're going to flip this over. And you're going to kind of give it some CPR. You're going to put your fingers, your thumbs, right in the middle of the two breast pieces. And just crack it so it lays flat. If you've ever done CPR on someone and you're doing chest compressions, kind of the same thing. You'll hear that crack. Okay? So now that we've got this spatchcocked and we've got this ready to go, we're going to pause the camera for a minute and I'm going to get the next step ready. Okay, so we've got the injector put together. I love this injector. It's like using a caulking gun. It's awesome. We've got the injector. We have a container with our injection liquid here. And we're going to pull up the liquid into the syringe, into the injector. The one thing about this injection liquid is it has pieces of chopped garlic in it. So you got to kind of, when you're drawing this up into the syringe, the pieces of garlic, they get on that needle. So you got to kind of, you can either strain it before you use it, or just as you're withdrawing it up, take them pieces of garlic off of there. So what you want to do is, you kind of don't want to pierce the skin on this. So take a leg and go up into the knuckle joint here from the bottom, like this. Okay, that gets it right into that thigh, into that leg. Take a couple pumps in. 1, 2. Okay, so we're going to get this all injected up. Come up into from the bottom end here. Couple pumps. And you got to kind of finesse yourself here, because that skin is, it's formed around that leg. So you got to kind of be a little forceful to get it in there. You don't want to pierce your hand though. So a couple pumps. And see, the way doing it that way is it leaves the skin without a hole in it and leaves the skin intact. And then your liquid doesn't come spurting out that hole. Same thing with the front part here, the chest area. Get up underneath that skin and go in from underneath. Couple pumps. Move your needle all around. I probably should have strained this through. I wasn't thinking. But get that in there. Move that needle all around. Get that injected all the way through. Kind of massage that around. So it doesn't pool in one spot. Like I said, these little bits of garlic, they're I forgot, I didn't think about straining them out. So that's my fault. So let's get the thighs up underneath that skin, into that thigh meat. Couple pumps. The wings really aren't that major, but if you want, you can get your needle in, extend that wing, and come in from the breast side and get it into that wing muscle. From a diagonal. And once you get it all pumped up, and you get it all massaged up, the next thing you're going to do is get your seasoning. Now, seasoning is your choice. Doesn't matter what you use. You can use just salt and pepper, SPG. You can use meat church. You can use Kinders. You can use whatever you want to use. Now we're going to use this. So let's open it up. And we're going to get her on there. We'll get the wings out. Get this all covered up really, really good. And once you get that side done, flip it over and do the other side. Okay, there's that. The next thing is going to be going out to the smoker, so we'll come back to that in a bit. Okay, so now that we've got it all seasoned up, and I've got my Thermomaven G2 probe in, and the grill probe in, we're going to get this out on the smoker and get it going. Okay, so here we have the 1100 2B running in super smoke mode at 160, and now we're going to put the chicken on and get it going. Now I will run this on super smoke for at least an hour or so, or until these temps reach 70 internal, and then I'll crank it up to 325 or 350 to finish this off. So here it is. This is spatchcocked, and now since we have the lid open, it's dropped a little bit. But I just want to say that since I've upgraded the fire rod in not just one, but both of my 1100 TBs, and I've retrofitted the RTD rod, or RTD probe, right there. These smokers have run amazingly well. They hold temp extremely well. They start up within 90 seconds to the first sign of smoke. The silicone hot rods that are in it, silicone nitride hot rods that are in it, are just, they're unbelievable. And they're inexpensive. I bought 2 of them for my smokers, and they were like $25. So They're not expensive, and they're not gonna, they're not gonna drain your wallet. But we got the chicken going, and once that hits 70, we'll raise up the temp. Okay, so we've hit the 70-degree mark, as you can see here on the Thermomaven, and then 70 on the grill probe. So now I'm going to use the app, and I'm going to up the temp to 300. Okay, so there it is, 300, and they're still at the temps I want them to be at, and we're still good to go. Okay, so here we are. We're 2 hours and 17 minutes in. We're at 152, and I'm going to brush some melted butter on the skin of this, and then I'm going to raise the temp up to 375 and finish it off the rest of the way. So let's get into the app and adjust the temp. Sometimes it's temperamental. My finger might not be sitting on it the right way. Okay, there we are, 375. 375. Now we're going to open the lid. And there's the bird. Now we're going to just brush some melted butter on this. Like I said, and raise it up to 375. Finish it off to the internal 165. Gives it that nice glistening look. It'll also help further crisp up the skin without sacrificing any of the moisture inside. Okay, so here we are, 2 hours and 43 minutes in, and we just hit 170. Now I wanted to let it go just a little bit over the 165 mark because the thighs were just a little under, and now they're perfectly cooked. So we are ready to pull this off and let it rest for a little bit, and then we'll get into it. But there it is, all nice and crisped up, seasoned up, and we'll get into this, and that's supper. Okay, so now that it has come off of the smoker and it has rested for a little bit, we're going to get cut into this. I want you to hear the crispiness of the skin here. See all the juice? And that's just from the thighs. Okay, you can see right here and right here and back in here a little bit, that is nothing but moisture and juice from the brine and the injection. Okay, so there is the spatchcock chicken. It is pretty much cut up, but you can see all the juice on this board from that chicken. And I gotta tell you, with that brine and that injection, it is really good. So there's dinner. Hope you enjoyed. Till the next time, take care.